I want to talk about what I would describe as the Han-Dong adjustment to the Saskatchewan Party's constitution. So they have changed their constitution so that the only people who can vote in nomination races are Canadian citizens. And I think this is a wonderful thing, which aligns with Election Saskatchewan rules, but it prevents people from stacking the nominations to get, who get themselves nominated, but then turning around and failing on election day because all the people who nominated you can't vote for you, and the people who would have voted in the nomination would not have voted for you. So yes. I think it's a great thing, and it's exactly how Han-Dong got nominated in Don Valley North, was bussing in a bunch of foreign nationals from a local Chinese language school where expats send their kids. And they were like 14-year-old Chinese nationals voting for Han-Dong in the nomination. So that's how he got to be CCP's man in Don Valley North. And they closed this loophole. Mm-hmm. I'm sure the NDP are going to call it racist.
Oh, they have.
But it's appropriate. Yeah.
Oh, it was an absolutely necessary change. And yes, the NDP is already like straight out the gate. Oh, the Sask party party full of racists and party full of bigots, and they don't want the votes. That's actually not what they said. Actually, one of the comments that was made was, if we limit our nominations to Canadian citizens, it's going to compel people that aren't Canadian citizens who want to be involved to become Canadian citizens. And it was just awesome to see. I mean, a tiny, tiny handful of people voted against, but it was overwhelmingly carried by the crowd. It was great to see.
Yeah, some of the comments on this policy, I would say it would be 80 to 90% positive for the move. Mm-hmm. And right. Anecdotally, there have been situations at nominations meetings where people voted for an individual, and I'm not sure of their citizenship status, but they were completely unclear as to why they were voting for this individual. They thought they were voting in an election. Mm-hmm. They thought they were voting to get him to basically, him or her, to a position in the party, when all it was a nomination meeting. So there have been issues that are not publicized by the party, but the thing is, they just said, okay, well, we can't really have that, because think of this, basically, the vast majority of the people that this disqualifies are not the Irish, right? Let's put it that way, right?
Sure.
It's not okay. That might have been have been 220 years ago, but it's not this now. So basically, when the Sask party has to make a point saying, we want you to know what you're actually voting for, right? Then ultimately you have the boo birds coming out there and basically saying, well, you're racist. And of course, you're just proving that you're racist. But I don't think there's anything racist about asking people to be Canadian citizens to vote or to be involved in the nomination.
There is nothing controversial about this whatsoever. And actually, they addressed one of the things that resulted in the NDP taking 14 seats from them. Sask party supporters in the urban centers stayed home instead of voting for some guy that they didn't know. The end. That's what happened.
Right.
So they made that correction as a party. They identified that as an issue. They made the correction, and good for them. That's taken us in a real good direction.
Yeah, I think it's fair.
And it closes the disconnect, right? If you have, and I'll just say it, an ethnic voting bloc choosing the nominee, but then that ethnic bloc can't vote for that nominee.
That's right.
The people who do want to vote for the Sask party MLA in that riding see that guy, and then they dig down and they're like, I actually don't like that guy.
Right.
You don't turn up to vote.
That's exactly
He's not the guy you would have chosen.
Right.
And that's the problem. It drives a wedge in between your regular voters and the potential MLA.
And you know what? Let the NDP carry this to their grave. Okay, let the NDP throw their nominations open to any Tom, Dick, and Harry from whatever country they want, and let them suffer the consequences of their bad decisions.
Imagine letting non-citizens choose the MLA.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Imagine, because that's terrible. This is what the NDP said. Brittany Sanger, the Saskatchewan NDP critic for democracy and ethics, said the proposed changes are discriminatory. She said it's deeply troubling. It's disheartening to see that they're discouraging permanent residents and young people from being engaged in the democratic process. Frankly, my question is to Scott Moe. What's driving this motion forward? I don't know, election security?
We don't want foreigners running our government.
Yeah.
Foreign interference concerns also?
It was really quite interesting because Brittany Singer did a little video outside of the Sask party, outside of TCU Place recently saying, and she's like, we want diversity, we want this. And then she goes and lays out all these things that the Sask party or the NDP caucus are. We've got the first openly LGBTQ caucus
As if
member.
anybody cares.
I'm like, no, you don't. There was a finance minister in the 1990s in the NDP caucus that was openly gay. And this guy still appears on CBC to this day. So it's like, you don't even know the history of your own party. And you're like, and besides, what does that have to do with permanent citizenship?
Right.
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 They just want to take any opportunity to, the NDP have followers just like everybody else. But the hardcore left-wing radicals are such simple-minded people that ultimately they just jump on this. If they saw Scott Moe buying vanilla ice cream at the co-op, right? Why won't you get chocolate?
It's black people.
What, Tiger? Don't you like the Tamils? Right? It's like
right.
It's like let's just find something to criticize the Sask party for. But the good news is, it's falling on such deaf ears that nobody cares anymore, right?
Well, because the world is rapidly divesting from identity politics.
Yes,
we are divesting from DEI as something that we embrace. So by all means, NDP, please dig in on these issues. Double down, triple down, even. Can't wait to see you lose.
Yeah, everybody's a misogynist and everybody's a racist. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, the edges off that knife. That's for sure. And it disregards what the Canadian public have lived through since at least 2019, probably before. We had a national commission about foreign interference, sparked from foreign interference in nomination processes in 2019 and 2021. They were found to have been meddling in nomination processes. That's how Kenny Chu lost his seat. That's how Han Dong won his. It happened. And if we can tighten up this loophole, it's not discrimination to not have foreign nationals choose your MLAs. Like, what planet are they on?
I think the NDP, the Tommy Douglas planet, the party of eugenics. The party of eugenics, right? It's like, yeah. Now they're just the party of the fact that they don't like capitalism and they want to eradicate capitalism from Saskatchewan. That's the party that they're in, right?
Yeah.
So
which they're just contrarian to a fault.
Well, and this is and exactly the reason why they can never be allowed to form government ever. The end.
Right.
Yeah. Right. I mean, they just can't because of their background. The sort of their pedigree is one that basically wants to, one of the jokes at the convention was that Ken Cheveldayoff was reading off the proposed motions, and one of them was to nationalize all the oil and gas in Saskatchewan. That was a proposal at the NDP convention to nationalize,
and that got absolute the crowd went applause. Wild. Yes, yeah. It was great.
One important thing before we leave here, we have to understand this.
Yes.
The Sask party has been in power now for 18 years. Okay. In the next election, there will be voters that have never, ever experienced the NDP in their lifetime.